Just be a moment here.
Are we recording?
Oh, great. Thank you. Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to Rbcm at Home and today's presentation on the Lunar New Year. My name is Kim Goff, and I'm a learning program developer. I would like to acknowledge that I'm coming to you from my home, which is on the territory of the Lekwungen people in Victoria, British Columbia. And I extend my appreciation for the opportunity to live and work on this territory. I encourage you all to consider the traditional territory on whose land you are on today, wherever you are. Rbcm at Home started in March when our museum and archive closed due to the pandemic. It was an opportunity to talk to staff about what they were working on from home. Now, even though the museum is reopened, we've continued this program as a way of staying connected with people at home or at school all around the province. And this program and previous ones have been recorded, and you can find them on the museum's YouTube channel. Today, my guest is City Councillor Charlayne Thornton-Joe. Charlayne is a third-generation Victorian and an avid volunteer with many organizations, including the Victoria Women's Transition House, the board of the Intercultural Association of Greater Victoria, the Lions Society for Children with Disability, 100 Women Who Care, and the Aboriginal Coalition to End Homelessness. Charlayne has also served the Chinese community in various roles. She was a director on the Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association and a member of the Victoria Chinatown Lionesses, serving 4 terms as president. She currently is a member of the Chinese Freemasons and a new club called the Jade Phoenix Club. For her many years of volunteering, Charlayne was the recipient of the Honorary Citizen of Victoria in 2001 and was recognized with a YMYWCA Woman of Distinction Award, a Lions International Brian Stevenson Service Award, and the Zanata Woman of the Year Award. Charlayne, thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you, and thank you for the generous introduction, and very pleased to be here. I also would like to acknowledge that I'm proud to make my workplace and my home in the homelands of the Lekwungen speaking people and the Wasanich people and namely the Songhees and Esquimalt nations as well. And I have that privilege of being able to work, play, visit, and call home. So just want to say hi, Shika.
Thank you. Now, your family has called this area home for 3 generations. Can you tell us a little bit about your family's history in Victoria?
Yes, so even, I guess on my mother's side, even more than 3 generations, in that my grandmother was from the interior Salish. So my great-grandmother was Indigenous, and my great-grandmother, I guess, met my great-grandfather, and my grandmother was born basically on the border of BC and the United States. So I guess that makes my grandmother was half, my mother I guess was a quarter, so I do have First Nations DNA and very proud of it, and very much one of my journeys is trying to learn a little bit more about that part of my history. But for the rest of my parents and grandparents, they were born, or my parents were born in Victoria, and 3 of my grandparents came from China. And like most people that come from other countries, like I do tours of Chinatown with elementary school children. And I always remind us that basically we're all immigrants unless we're Indigenous, and we all have come at some time from somewhere else. And for my grandparents, it was from China. And immigrants come to Canada or other countries for the hope of a better life for their children and grandchildren. And that was the hope for my grandparents as well.
Now, what do you remember about celebrating the Chinese New Year when you were growing up in Victoria?
Yes, well, being one of the youngest grandchildren, by the time I was born, there were only 2 grandparents left that were still alive. But for Chinese New Year's, it was always about getting together with family members. It was a time definitely that we would have a Chinese banquet. My grandmother would have the seat of honor. We would all be expected to show our respects by going up to her and wishing her a happy new year. And of course, for all of the children, we would get these lovely red packages, and in them would be, some money, and you could do quite well if you were showing your respect to all your elders. And there were certain things that we would eat for good luck, whether it is a vegetarian meal, because we believe that one of your meals or one of the things that you eat should be no meat, because you don't want to start your new year by taking a life of any animal. And some of the things like noodles to symbolize long life. So a lot of things that we would eat be symbolic. If your family lived in another city or country, you would often travel to visit that individual, because you'd want to celebrate together. So lots of things we do. Mostly it was around certain foods, gathering. As a child, my father had this thing that he would always do, and right behind me I have it. It's sugar cane. And it was, I don't, when I tried it myself to do, I give my father a lot of credit for his perseverance, because you would have to cut off the bark and trim it down, and inside was the cane sugar. And he would wrap it in saran wrap and put it in my lunch. And I would eat that at recess. And of course, everybody was thinking, what are you eating? But it was chewy, it was pulpy, but it was very sweet. And I really enjoyed that as part of the Chinese New Year celebration. When we talk about certain foods, as you see behind me, we would eat lots of oranges. And probably around the Chinese New Year's, we love purchasing oranges with the stem and the leaves still intact. And people would say, well, why would you do that when it's more expensive because the weight is more? But the green leaves and the stems symbolize spring is coming and a new beginning and a new year, which is good luck. And the fruit behind me is called a pomelo, and in our family we call it the Chinese grapefruit. It's not sour like grapefruit that we most commonly know. And when you purchase it, you try to find a heavy one so you know it's juicy. And it's got quite a thick skin, and you cut the skin. And my mother used to put the skin in my bath, because she used to dry it and say it was good for your skin and your complexion. Don't know if it worked or not, but that's what she used to do. Yeah. And then many of the grapefruits, not as much today, but before they used to have seeds in them. And my mom or my grandmother used to plant the seeds, and a nice leafy plant would grow that if you rubbed the leaves would have a lovely scent. And my grandmother used to say that if you cut a leaf and put it in your wallet, it would bring you good luck. So whenever my mother used to go buy a 649 ticket or something, she'd always make sure she had one of those leaves to make sure that good luck would come her way. So Chinese grapefruit was also another traditional thing that we would have, and we would open it up on pretty well near Chinese New Year's to have. Another item. Yes.
Oh, I was just going to say that the grapefruit and the oranges, they're food, but they're also, in a way, they're almost like decoration. Are they a little bit of both?
Yeah, we will have them on our dining room table, and they'll be on display there until close to the new year, and then we will open it up and enjoy it and share it with our friends and family. When we used to, when we can visit, we'd always bring something. You'd never go to visit a friend or family empty-handed. So often you would bring the oranges, or you would bring Chinese grapefruit, or you would bring apples because they're color red, which is good luck. So a lot of things, especially during the Chinese New Year's, that are symbolic. For example, we will eat perhaps a whole steamed fish because fish symbolizes abundance. And so we want to have an abundance of good health, abundance of good luck. And so we do choose certain things to bring good luck to our families.
I really like that the fruit is so multi-purpose. You've got nourishment, it's a gift, it's a decoration. Can you tell us a little bit more about other decorations? You've got some lanterns behind you. And
yes, and interesting enough, as a city councillor, I do have a motion coming this Thursday, and I was inspired by hearing a family in New Westminster who have encouraged their neighbors to decorate their house in red or New Year's decorations. And I was also inspired from a mayor of Ontario who asked people to leave their Christmas lights on a little longer this year to spread a little bit of cheer and add some light and to this difficult time that we're all experiencing. So with that in mind, Chinese New Year's, as I said, is about traveling. It's about being with people. And of course, during this time with the coronavirus, we're unable to do that. We also, in our community, usually have a lion dance in Chinatown to celebrate that we have the oldest Chinatown in Canada. But of course, once again, because of social distancing, we won't be able to hold it this year. So my thought was, how do we celebrate together while staying apart? And so what I'm asking is that the people of Victoria and even further the whole region to take part in Chinese New Year celebration this year by celebrating together while we're all apart and decorating the outside of your house. So whether it is red lights, whether it's red lanterns like I have above me, whether you go down to Chinatown and buy some posters or signs, or even just getting red crepe paper and putting red, because of course red symbolizes good luck. And also perhaps even on Chinese New Year's, which is February 12th this year, our Chinese calendar follows the lunar calendar, so it changes every year. And this year is February 12th, so I'm hoping on February 12th we'll all wear red because we've had a very difficult year of the rat, and we want to welcome in the year of the ox. And by wearing red, we are hoping for a year that is less stressful, more financially stable for all of us, and of course that all of us have good health.
I love this idea. So this is a motion that's going before Victoria City Council on Monday?
This Thursday.
This Thursday. Great.
And I'm asking that people start as soon as they like and carry on to the end of February. I went down to Chinatown this weekend and bought more decorations. I almost finished decorating my house. I took off the red Christmas lights, and now my husband has been told he has to put them back up because and I've talked to some of my other neighbors, and they'll be doing it as well as friends throughout the region. So
well, I'm in.
I challenge and encourage everyone to, as I say, decorate in red, and let's bring in the year of the ox with such determination and celebratory spirit that, as I said, even though we can't celebrate together, I mean, we will celebrate, although we're going to be apart.
Well, you've got me. I'm going to do that. Absolutely.
Right.
Devin watching on Facebook says celebrating online will never replace celebrating in person.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. And this at least can show some of that community spirit. I know ever since I've lived in Victoria, which has been over 10 years, I've always gone down to Chinatown. For the New Year's because of the spirit and the fun and just that sense of community that you get by doing it. But hopefully by decorating and showing that celebration, we can get a small sense of that this year.
And absolutely. And as you know, stores and restaurants have had a tough time during COVID. And so, whether it is going down to Chinatown and looking in the stores and purchasing some items to help celebrate, but whether it is going in or taking takeout for the Chinese New Year's and ordering some of your favorite dishes, it really helps the businesses during this difficult time.
Absolutely. If you're thinking you'd like to decorate, but you're not sure how or what to put up, I did just find out that our curator, one of our curators of history, Dr. Tzu Chung, and her daughter are going to do a special Rbcm kids program on Monday, so this coming Monday, and they're going to make some window decorations. So if you want to work along with that, that's going to be at 6 p.m. on Monday, and you can get information on our website about how to join in that program.
Well, now, I'm definitely going to tune into that. I love what Dr. Chung does for the museum and for the Chinese community, and that will be some great ideas for people to take part in.
Great, and we can all get decorated. And for everyone watching here who's not in Victoria, you too can decorate. So we'd love to see pictures. If you do end up decorating, maybe you can take a photograph and share it on social media. And you could tag Charlayne, or you can tag the Royal BC Museum, and we'll make sure you get to see that.
Now, I did want to acknowledge, Kim, that you're wearing a beautiful red sweater today for good luck. And you know, people will notice I have red around me, but I'm actually wearing the sort of royal blue. And I was going to wear red today, but I chose this because, and I don't know if you can see the whole thing, but this was a gift given to me by Bessie Tang. And for those who have been a part of the Chinese community for a long time, will know that Bessie and Jack Tang were leaders in our community, were always gave back to our community. And during Chinese New Year's, it would be Auntie Bessie that would be forefront in the news, telling the story of what the Chinese zodiac was all about and what the year was going to bring. And she gave me this this beautiful silk jacket in hopes that I will continue that. And so by having me here today, definitely made me think of Auntie Bessie, and I wanted to wear this in her honor.
Oh, thank you for mentioning her. And as you said, for many people in this community, that will be a familiar name. But clothing is another part of the New Year tradition, isn't it? Is there an idea about wearing new clothes as well?
Well, you know, if you look at some of the what we call superstitions, which I definitely, you know, follow, that my mother used to tell me. On Chinese New Year's, I was always brought up that I never wash my hair on Chinese New Year's on the day because I will wash away my luck. I would never sweep the floor on Chinese New Year's because I'll sweep away my luck. You try not to use scissors on Chinese New Year's Day because you don't want to sever or cut away any of the luck. But you know, colors. Red is extremely important in Chinese culture because it symbolizes good luck. We try to avoid, you know, certain colors. So you don't want a lot of white or wear white because, of course, as I said, red is the most important color, or green, or gold, or you know, blues. Those are all extremely important. I'm trying to think of what other things. We try to clean our house before Chinese New Year's because we want to start our year with a nice, clean, and fresh house. We try to pay off all our debts, which is definitely a difficult thing to do, but we try to have as little debt as we start in the new year. So, you know, those are some of the either traditions or superstitions that we might follow. And, you know, for many years, I still follow them just because my mother taught me to do it, and I continue to do that. You know, my mother was very big on Chinese New Year's. They love to celebrate. They love to have people over. They love to go to banquets. And my mother would teach me how to make some of the delicacies. You know, through the years, you know, my parents taught me how to make sticky rice, make what we call nian go, or Chinese New Year's cake. I have this great picture of my mother and I when she taught me how to make, you know, certain pastries as I was growing up.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Yeah, so, you know, those are the things that I treasure because we would spend hours in the kitchen making these things, and we would talk. We would just chat about when she was young, or you know, what it was like going to school at those times where, you know, unfortunately there was discrimination, and what Chinese New Year's meant to her. You know, when she didn't have a lot of money in the family, Chinese New Year's meant that they got a new pair of shoes, and that was and an orange, and she looked forward to that. So, you know, it is something that brings back the memories of my childhood, whether it's sights, whether it's smells, but all the richness of the culture.
Now, you mentioned that such an important time to share with family. Chinese New Year is really the beginning of, is it the beginning of like the spring festival, essentially?
Yeah, it is. It's sort of a sign because it follows the lunar calendar. And of course, in China, it was based on farming and what would grow. So spring was extremely important for your planting and you know, the success and the welfare of your family. had a lot to do with how your crops grew. And so it is a symbolism of spring is coming and the growing season is coming. And so that's why we do a lot of things to bring good luck to the home, to our business, and to our family.
There's a question here from Lori. She's saying, can you let us know specifically how the date of Chinese New Year's is related to the moon phases?
Well, I have to admit, I rely on Google. So what it is, it's the Chinese calendar or the lunar calendar. And so, of course, we call it the lunar calendar. It's not just Chinese that follow it. There are many others, Asians that do as well, and South Asians. And what it is it goes moon to moon for new moons, and the new moon for this year happens to fall on, and you can either for those of us who have Chinese calendars, it marks where the new moon is for the year. So this year the new moon will start on February 12th. So Friday, February 12th would be the beginning of the new year. And according to the lunar calendar, it will end January 31st in 2022. So every year, Chinese New Year's falls on a different day, depending on the moon cycle. And the Chinese zodiac came about of a legend of animals coming to pay respects. I think it's to Lord Buddha. And the 12 animals that arrive first, we're going to have a year named after them. So it's always very difficult, but unless you have a Chinese calendar, every year I Google to see when the Chinese New Year's is going to start, but it does follow the lunar calendar.
Yeah, the internet sure helps us.
Absolutely.
Lori says, thank you.
Yeah, people are always don't understand why we celebrate Lunar New Year or Chinese New Year's on a different date, but it is following the moons. And if you follow the moons, I believe there's always basically 13 moons in the year. So Chinese New Year's will fall somewhere between mid-January to mid-February usually.
So Charlayne, one of the exciting things about when we were able to go downtown and participate in the big events is the lion dance.
Yes.
What is can you tell us more about the significance of the lion dance and why that happens?
Yeah, well, I think mainly when you go to a lion dance, and often there's a dragon dance, but dragon dance takes far more people power because it's a lot longer. But the lion dance, basically, which is put on usually in our community, is performed by groups like the Wangxiang Kung Fu Club, but it is funded or brought to the community by the Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association, is basically to ward off any bad luck and to bring good luck to our community. Whoops, we just sort of lost it.
I'll share a picture here. You can talk over it, I think.
Great. So there's a lion dance. You see the little gentleman there that's fanning, he's bringing good luck. And the lion dance is, if you could hear, it'd be very, very noisy. There would be firecrackers and drumming, and the noise is to scare away the bad luck. And basically what they'll do is, if you were in Chinatown, you would see businesses will hang donations and red envelopes or donations to the community, and they'll also hang pieces of lettuce. And what will happen is the lion will basically look like he's eating the lettuce, and then he'll spit it out. And the lettuce symbolizes prosperity, and when he spits it out, it's because we're sharing the wealth with everyone around us. So the symbolism is to say goodbye to the old year, bring in the new year, and to make sure that the year brings good health, much happiness, and prosperity to all.
Now, is there a way, I've heard the expression gung hei fat choi.
Yes.
Are there other ways to wish that sort of prosperity and happiness for people at this time? Absolutely.
Most of the people that came from China, the first generation, like my parents, were Cantonese speaking from the southern part of China, which was known as Canton province. And so we would say Gong Hei Fat Choi, which is, basically wishing a new year or hopefully a prosperity for the new year. And in Cantonese, we'd also say San Yin Phai Lok, which is another way of saying, may the new year come quickly to us. But in Mandarin, you could also say, Xin Nian Kuai La, and that's the Mandarin way of saying it as well. So, I don't think, Gong Hei Fa Choi works very well, and we love that term, and we hope everybody joins with us and celebrates this year.
Well, and thank you so much. There's just a couple minutes left. Do you have anything final you'd like to say about the new year?
I think this year, just to let people know that the ox year is usually compared or synonymous with hard work, and because oxes are hardworking creatures and they show loyalty, so that's an important trait. We should see prosperity this year, although we will require hard work and we'll have to get through some obstacles, which we all know there have been many obstacles. The ox year we'll also see will be a push to improve life and emphasis on diversity and how diversity will make us stronger, and that our lives will be better when we work together. And I think we're going to see a year that hard work will be rewarded. It'll be a favorable year for economic recovery, and that is something that we definitely need to see at this time. So I hope whatever year you're born under, that you have a great year. And I hope you will decorate your house for the New Year's, and hope you will wear red on February 12th. And yeah, I just hope it's a great year full of good health and much happiness.
Thank you. Thank you for you as well. Charlotte here on Zoom is wondering about dumplings. I'm hope maybe can I just eat a bunch of dumplings? Will that help my luck or fortune? Is that still a popular thing to do?
That is great. There's some great dumpling shops in Chinatown now, and definitely, whether you're going for dim sum or ordering out, dumplings are extremely important part of the Chinese New Year celebrations. Once again, noodles because they symbolize long life. Lots of great things, and I hope you will. It doesn't have to be right on Chinese New Year's. We often say we celebrate 2 weeks to a month long. And I hope that during that time you will frequent or to do takeout to your favorite Chinese restaurant and give them the support they need during this time because many are suffering because of a lack of business during COVID.
Thank you. It's such a great message and important for everyone.
And maybe lastly, so a lot of people about the red envelopes. We give out the red envelopes to basically to reward those that show respect, and the red envelopes are given by older adults and married adults, and we give it to younger people who are unmarried. So, for example, children will come and they will either say Gong Hei Fa Choi or they'll bow 3 times. They're showing respect to their elders. And if they show respect, then I would give them one of these envelopes, and I would put like a toonie in it or $5 in it. And that's my way of rewarding them for showing respect, because respect is extremely important in Chinese culture.
Absolutely. I hope respect is a great lesson for everyone everywhere. I have my red envelope from, I think a couple of years ago. I still have the money inside. I hope I wasn't supposed to spend it. I kept the money in there too. Well,
fine.
Charlayne, thank you so much for taking time today to be with us and to share about your memories of when you were growing up and some of the things you did and the different traditions and pieces behind this important time of the year.
Yes, and I look forward to hopefully next year when we can all celebrate the Lunar New Year together back in the community. And yeah, just Gong Hei Fat Choi, San and Phyla, and all the best to all of you.
If you'd like to hear more from Charlayne Joe, we have a beautiful video of her speaking with her father on the Royal BC Museum's Learning Portal, and the address has just been put there in the chat window and on Facebook as well. So you can watch that video and others in the pathway called Felicities in Traditions.
Yes, I did provide a picture of my mom and dad there that when they met. So I wanted to share that as well.
Did they meet at Chinese New Year?
Sorry?
I'm trying to
No,
remember.
they didn't. They not sure what, but it wasn't during Chinese New Year's. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can check out that video. We have other Lunar New Year programs. I mentioned this special At Homes Kids on Monday, February the 8th at 6 p.m. with window flower making. And you can also join us on February the 10th at 2 p.m. for Rbcm Outside. And that will be a visit to Chinatown with curator Tsu Yi Chung and Alan Lowe. So you can check our websites for more details and how to register. Next week, February 9th, my guest will be Fran Morrison from the BC Black Awareness History Society, who will present about BC's Black pioneers. So I hope you've enjoyed today's program and will join us again next week. Until then, take care of yourselves and one another. And Gung Hei Fat Choi.
Gong Hei Fat Choi. Bye-bye now.